If you want to grow more food in small space, intensive planting can completely change your garden. On our 1/2 acre homestead, it's one of the key ways we're able to produce about 80% of our food. In this video, I'll walk you through how to plant an intense bed step by step, what crops pair well together, and how to keep it productive for seasons. Intensive planting isn't about cramming everything in and hoping for the best. It's about planting smarter, using layers, good timing, good crop pairing, so that the whole bed stays productive. I'm always thinking about what I can grow up, what I can grow underneath, what I'm going to harvest first, what I'm going to replant next. This is how you keep a small bed a high production bed. So how do you plant a bed intensively and intentionally for high production? The method works, and it works well, as long as the bed can handle it. So of course, we have to look at the soil first. Fertility matters more when you're intensely planting because you're planting a lot of plants in a small amount of space. It's like feeding a large family with a small pantry. You have to be ingenious. If the pantry or the bed isn't well stocked, then everything struggles. If you want tighter spacing with bigger harvests, you have to build and feed the soil well. And of course, the first step is to add some compost, and you can just top dress over the top of your soil, or you can put it over the top and lightly work it in with a fork. You just don't want to overwork your soil. And if it's a new bed or a bed that you haven't added compost or worked for a while, then it might be a good idea to add a well-balanced organic fertilizer. I usually just sprinkle that right over the top of that compost and lightly work it in with the broad fork. I don't want to pulverize the soil, just a light work to break it in. You also want your soil to be slightly moist. If you have dry soil, it can act hydrophobic and it's hard for that water to penetrate. This is especially important when you're planting transplants, because if you're planting them in dry soil, this can stress them out quickly. Also, when you're sowing seed and you hand water over the top or you get a heavy rainfall, those seeds can easily wash away. So make sure that your soil is nice and moist. Oftentimes, when we think about planting our garden out, we think about rows, like a nice long row of carrots. But when we have small gardens, we need to kind of rethink that, and we want to think about layering. Planting your garden out is key with intensive planting. It can be just simple, just some notes with some grid paper. You want to plan your spring, your summer, and your fall. And oftentimes that fall planting can roll over into winter in many climates. And I'll show you how to do this. The first layer is our vertical crops. These are the crops that grow up. Things like peas, beans, cucumbers, tomatoes, things that need to be staked or on a trellis. Vertical gardening is one of the biggest space-saving techniques that you can do in small gardens. I'll demonstrate how to plant all of these layers in just a few minutes. Then plan your second layer. This is the middle. These are crops like kale, broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, and peppers, maybe even some eggplant. Then plan your third layer. These are crops that are usually low growing and they can live under crops or they're fast maturing. They go in the middle around that main crop. They usually mature and can be pulled out before that main crop takes up that space, or they can actually live underneath that main crop. Crops like carrots, they can live underneath. Radishes, they're quick to come out before things mature. Even beets work. Then there's the fourth layer. This is one of the most important layers because this is what's going to keep your garden producing throughout the seasons. This layer is what you plant after a crop has been spent. So like peas that were planted in the springtime, once they're pretty much done, you cut them off at the base, leave those roots intact in the soil because that's going to provide nitrogen for the next crop. You can plant cucumbers in that space that are going to climb up the trellis or that support system. And then when the broccoli's done, it's going to come right out after you've harvested it, and a pepper plant, an eggplant, or even a tomato plant can go in its place. And don't stop there. If you had a late season of potatoes and you've harvested those, pull those out and plant another fall crop, like more broccoli or some kale. This keeps the bed productive through all seasons, which means more food. If you want a little help on knowing what crops pair well together and what season to plant them, I put a free PDF together for you, and you'll find that in the description below. We also go into this in greater depth in the course that we're creating now, and you'll find all of this information and the links in the description below. And there is a fifth layer. This is an area that's often never used, but it can be pretty valuable. It's the edges of your bed and the corners. These are perfect for things like onions along the side. They're always a little bit drier and onions can handle it. And corners, they're great for putting scallions in there or herbs that can drape over the edge. This is very valuable space. If you're going to be watering and feeding this bed, you might as well use every inch of it. How close you plant your transplants will depend on a few factors. One, how big the plant will get when it reaches full maturity, whether you can prune that plant or not, and your climate. When you live in a dry, hot climate like we do, you can space things a little bit closer. For one, once that canopy grows up, it's going to protect that soil. It's going to help keep the soil cooler, which is going to help it keep moist. And this is a real advantage for dry, hot climates. When you live in a humid climate and you're planting densely, things may not dry out very well, if at all. So then your chances of mildew and rot are a lot higher. So we definitely need a little bit more spacing for that airflow. For an example, I sow my lettuce seed very close, usually about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in rows that are spaced about 2 inches apart. I usually just cut and come again with my lettuce. So it grows, I cut, and it grows again. The reason I can do this is because it's ready to harvest in about 25 to 30 days. And I even do this with butterhead lettuces. But if you want a butterhead to reach full size and create a head, then you definitely need to space them about 5 to 6 inches apart. But if you're just doing cut and come again, it works great in hot climates to plant it very close. With cabbages, I'll actually plant these about 8 inches to 10 inches apart. Now, when you plant this close, you do sacrifice a little bit of size. But for a family of 2 or 3, this is the perfect size cabbage. If you've got a larger family, then you might want your cabbages to be bigger. Or if you're making kraut, then space your cabbages about 12 inches apart. It's the same thing with onions, bulbing onions. If you want a nice big bulbing onion, then you need to space them further apart, 4 to 5 inches. But I usually space mine about 2 to 3 inches. They are definitely a little bit smaller, but again, it's perfect for a family of 2 or 3. When it comes to tomatoes and you're trellising them, it may seem a little odd, but you can actually plant them or space them 1 foot apart. But you definitely have to do pruning on this so that you have that airflow. Even in a climate like ours, pruning is essential if you're planting that close. But the plus side to this is that they shade themselves a little bit better and help cool the plant itself, and I can plant a larger variety. Most plants actually do not have to follow the rules of the package for spacing. They can be tucked in a little bit tighter. And some good examples of these are things like radishes, carrots, onions, and beets. In fact, beets, they kind of make space of their own. If you just space the seed about 1 inch apart, that might seem kind of close for a beet that's going to be 2 or 3 inches around. They just emerge up out of the soil and they look beautiful. I want to demonstrate how to plant in a raised bed intensively. Now, these will be cool season crops. This area that I'm going to plant is only about 2 foot wide by 3 foot wide. In this area, I want to make sure that I'm amending the soil before I plant. So I'm going to put at least 1 inch of compost in this area. And if you haven't amended your soil in a while, then you might want to be adding 2 inches of compost to this area. And you can lightly work this compost in just a little bit with a digging fork or a little fork like I've got right here. If your soil is tight, then I would suggest it. If it's nice and loose, then you probably don't need to. And as I mentioned before, if you haven't worked your bed in a long time, you haven't grown anything in it, and it's just sat there dry, then you might want to be adding some organic fertilizer. Or if you haven't amended it in a while, it might be a good idea to add some organic fertilizer, because we are going to be planting intensely and we're going to be using up a lot of nutrition with those roots. For the fertilizer, just mix a little bit right over the top. And with organic fertilizer, you definitely want to mix it in because it can stay on the top and crust. And we want that fertilizer to have contact with the soil microbes. Now we want to think about our layering. Our first layer is our vertical layer. So I have a trellis right across the back. So I'm going to be sowing seeds, and I'll actually plant these seeds 1 inch apart because peas love to be close together. And then in this area here, which is the middle or the main area, layer 2, I'm going to be planting 3 broccoli plants, and I will be spacing them on a diagonal. As you can see, I'm about 10 inches apart. And then some cabbages. I'll nestle those right in there too. So we'll get these planted, and once they're planted, I'm going to make some rings or some little patches in the bare spots. I'll be planting some radishes. When I'm planting this close, I want to make sure that whatever I'm growing in the middle is going to grow quickly. So radishes are great for that. Usually the smaller radishes like Cherry Belle or like the Celesta here are ready in about 25 days to maturity for you to be able to harvest them. And that way you're pulling them out before these other plants take over that space and create a canopy and too much shade. How you plant your radish seed doesn't really matter. You just want to space it just a little bit away from your main plant. So little areas like here that we've got little open spots, these would be perfect areas to be sowing some seeds. So I would just scrape up that area, take a few seeds, sprinkle it in, and as you can see, they're pretty tight. And then just cover that soil area. So what we've got planted so far is 3 layers. Our first layer, which is our vertical layer. That's our peas that's going to climb up the trellis. Then we have our second layer, which is our broccoli and our cabbage. That's going to be in the middle, layer 2. Then we have our layer 3. These are things that either grow fast or stay low growing and can live under a canopy. So that's our radishes. Then we have our 4th layer, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So we're going to move on to our 5th layer. And what our 5th layer is corners and edges. So we have this space right here, and I'm going to be planting onions on here. Now remember, I'm going to be planting closer because I live in a dry, hot climate. If you live in a humid climate, then just add a few extra inches. And don't forget, if you want those cabbage heads to be bigger, then space those further apart as well. And the onions, where I'm spacing them only about 2 to 3 inches because we don't want massive bulb onions, then you're going to want to space them further if you do want them bigger. When we think about our layer 4, this is where we think about what crop comes after the harvest. So like our peas, that's in our layer 1. They grow up, it gets hot, and they die off. This is when we just chop those off at the base. We want to leave those roots in because they are supplying nitrogen for the next crop. So then we plant a crop in their place, and a good crop to follow would be cucumbers because cucumbers can utilize the nitrogen of those peas. And you're using the same trellis, so there's less work. Our layer 2, our middle layer, our main crop, which was our broccoli and our cabbage, once it comes out, then I'm going to be planting peppers or even eggplant in that space. In that layer 3, those radishes are gone, and those pepper plants that we replanted are small, so we can utilize that space all over again. And there's many possibilities here. You could pop in some nasturtium seeds or some summer crisp lettuce that can handle the heat. The key is with that layer 3, when you have a new crop that just went in, you want something that's fast maturing. And in that area where your onions are at, once they're done, you could actually sow some seeds of some green onions that can go into fall and even winter in some areas. And don't forget about fall. That's another layer to add to your seasons and more food. When your pepper plants freeze, you can put something in their place. Typically, we don't put anything in that number 1 layer because that's a vertical layer and there's not much that grows through the winter time. But you can plant something in its place that works just as good. The key is to never leave that soil bare. We always want to keep it covered. That means we have more food and the soil's protected. Just remember, when you're planting intensely, nutrients are used up faster. there's a lot more root system going on. So you might need to be fertilizing with a liquid fertilizer like compost tea or some other type of liquid fertilizer throughout the season to keep that production up and those plants healthy. If you want more information on how to make compost tea to nourish your garden, then you can check this video out here. By intensely planting, you can triple your harvest, keeping you in supply of fresh produce almost all year long. Have a great day, a better tomorrow, and may God bless you.